Hello, fellow peasants. Tonight I'll be reviewing 1978's The Evil. Okay, so I just got done watching 1978's The Evil. I would say if you haven't seen the film, I recommend turning off this review and going to whatever app you need to find it on. I watched it on Tubi. I watch a lot of stuff on Tubi because it's free. It's great. It's a way for me to see films on there and then go, oh, well, that was nice, but I don't want to buy it. Or that was great, I want to buy it. So, yeah, they got tons of films on there. But yeah, turn this off if you haven't seen it and go watch it and come back to this review. All right, so what is it about? Basically, it's about this guy who's a psychologist. He buys this large abandoned mansion, and he wants to turn it into a drug rehabilitation center. But there's one problem. There's evil inside. And being psychologists and science-minded skeptics, they don't believe their eyes when some of the evil stuff starts happening. They chalk it up to some weather patterns and things like that. And so the whole movie is just them trying to clean up this place because it needs a lot of TLC. It's an old abandoned place. It's dusty. It's filthy. It's him and some colleagues from the university that come in. They want to clean this place up, get it ready for business or whatever. But things keep happening. And people start getting hurt and dying, and they keep trying to rationalize what's happening in some sort of scientific manner, but they just can't. And eventually it all comes to a head at the end, and it gets a little bit ridiculous. So let's get into it here. What do I like? What do I not like? What I like is the 70s cinematography, baby. I know that is... I don't know, a shitty thing to be my first like, but I just love 70s cinematography. I just love the look of the films back in the day. There's just a warmth. There's just like a I don't know how to put it. It's just a cozy ass atmosphere in some of these films. Just a warm, cozy atmosphere, you know? It's the color palettes, it's the clothing, it's I don't know, it's just in general like the times of year that they decide to shoot. It's the interiors of the homes and things like that. So I love the way that it looks. I do think that it's an effective horror film for about 80% of the film, maybe even 90% of the film, because even though there are spots where it's like, okay, you showed a little too much, maybe we didn't need to see that. It's okay. It's forgivable because you can't quite make out what you're saying. But all in all, it for the most part, for 90% of the film, it is an effective horror film that doesn't show too much, and it has decent dialogue. Like I like the dialogue in here. It's science versus religion. It's skepticism, and you know, there's just a lot of debate and conversations about like, this can't be happening. It's not real. There's got to be some sort of scientific explanation for all this that's happening. We're not really trapped in here by some evil demonic force. There's got to be some way out of here. And they fight that to the bitter end. Like it's not right. It's pretty much right up until like the last 15 minutes of the film. The main character is like, oh shit, okay, I guess there's something demonic happening here. You know, and I mean, and crazy stuff happens. I mean, just stuff that, I don't know how you would explain that away. It's just so crazy and over the top. But, you know, it's part of his character development and all that. But, okay, so what else did I like? The acting in it is good. I really like the acting. There is one spot where the acting is kind of crappy, and that's where things start popping off. Like, shit pops off in, like, the first 40 minutes in this movie. People start getting hurt and dying. Okay, and they realize they can't get out of the house. They're throwing, like, tables at the walls or at the windows. They realize, like, the house is not letting them out. And this girl just loses her freaking mind. Like, she's like, we're not going to get out of here. We're all going to die. We're never going to leave. and then the professor guy who's dating her is like, get a grip, baby. Come on, baby. It's all right, baby. In like the most 70s, like, come on, baby way, you know? It's just like, cheesy dialogue, but I'm here for it. Even though it's like not the best acting, it's just like, man, that was so 70s. So, what else did I like? The practical effects in here are cool. I mean, there's a scene where like a table saw goes through this guy's hand, and I'm like, okay, that looks pretty cool. There's a shot where this girl's standing by the fireplace when they first get into the mansion, and there's a statue. There's like a head, like a tiger head or a lion head or something, on each side of the fireplace, like this giant stone or metal lion head or something, like statue thing, and like turns to look at her, you know. It's like, and that was actually kind of cool. Like, I wasn't expecting that. Like, and it looked really cool. It didn't look like some puppet, or it looked, you know, good. It looked good. So yeah, I think the practical effects in here are great. Even when people catch on fire, it doesn't seem like they have like fire suits on, you know, like in Halloween 2, when Michael Myers is on fire in the Haddonfield Hospital, he looks like the freaking Michelin Man walking around, you know, just a little too thick of a suit. But here people catch on fire and it's like, damn, do they even have a suit on? It looks like they're actually on fire. So that's pretty impressive. And so that's about it. And the mood and atmosphere. I like the mood and the atmosphere. I like the setting. The house is great. The interiors, the sets, everything was great. And like I said, the practical effects of them. Sometimes there's scenes where there's wind in the house, pushing them around. They're sliding across floors. That was done very convincingly. It's very nice, very nice. What I don't like is how there's no explanation for what the evil is or why the evil is in the house. I mean, we know what it is, I should say. We know what it is. But just like, how did it get there and why is it there? Like, why is the devil... So, let's just get into it. So, the devil is in the basement of this house, okay? And the devil is played by the same guy who, funny enough, was the Strangler in the film I just reviewed the other day. So, he plays the devil in this in like the last 7 to 8 minutes of the film. So this whole film, you've got them wondering, is it real? Is it not real? Is this supernatural? Is it practical? And then they go down to the basement with this giant crucifix, and the devil's down there, like the actual devil himself. And the main character has like a conversation with the devil. And then like main guy's chick or whoever she is like comes down and stabs the devil in the chest with the crucifix, and that kills him, I think, or he pulls it out of him. I'm not sure. Like, he pulls it out of him. Like, you think it kills him, and then they start running away to go back up and to escape, and he pulls it out of him, and then they shut the basement latch to trap the evil back in. And my whole thing is just like, damn, like you weren't that impressive of a film, but you were doing okay. You were doing all right. Sorry, guys. They're like my blinds. I'm sitting in front of a window right now, and the blinds are like coming across my face. Okay. Anyway, and so it was doing okay up until this moment where I'm just like, God damn, you really had to go down to the basement and actually physically talk to Satan. Like, definitely an example of how less is more. Okay, less is more. You know, like, you don't have to go all the way there to let us know that the devil's in the house, okay? Because you start losing... The more you show of some things, the more you lose the mystique and the mystery of it. And when you're having a one-on-one conversation with Satan who's sitting on a throne in a house, you start thinking, well, that's okay, I guess, but it ruins the mystery, the theater of the mind aspect. And it's also like, there's no explanation for why Satan chose to be in this house. Like, why is Satan in this house? Like, why did he decide to be in this house? Of all these houses, or there's just no backstory as to, like, how this giant underground Satan hell lair ended up in the basement of this house. But anyway, so all in all, I think it was a decent one-time watch. Can't say I would watch it again, as much as I do like looking at it. And that's the problem with a lot of films. It's like, man, I really like looking at it because I love the cinematography. I love the vibe, you know what I mean? I love the score. But sometimes things just, they just don't follow through. They just don't come through in the end enough to where you're like, yeah, I could do repeat viewings of this. I think it is worth a watch. I think it's worth a watch. But if you've made it this far into the review, you have either seen the film or you just didn't care that I spoiled it for you. So one of the two. But anyway, guys, let me know down in the comments below if you have seen 1978's The Evil. If you like it, you love it. If you hate it, have a good one, peasants. Peace out. Bye-bye.